This course is presented to you free of charge by TTJ Tech Services of www.ttjtech.biz and by Stir It Up of www.stiritup.com. And remember, stir is spelled with a U, not an I, so that's STURITUP.com. TTJ Tech Services and Stir It Up are pleased to offer this course to you to the glory of God and to the benefit of all those who listen. This is session number 13 today. We're going to talk today about the Photos app and a little bit about the camera. Now, some of you, if you are voiceover users and you have no eyesight, you may be thinking, well, why do I care about the Photos app or the camera? And I think many of you will recognize we can find some common ground on the fact that we're doing things we never thought we'd possibly ever be doing, right? Because of the way Apple has made all of this accessible. And it's actually really possible to enjoy your photos and especially your videos, even if you cannot see. And so I want to show you some of that. And of course, we have some sighted folks maybe too that'll benefit from this. We'll do a screen share. The iPad is a great way to look at photos, to listen to videos, watch videos, to explore, to edit your photos and organize them and a whole lot more. The Photos app is extremely robust, offers a lot of great features. With the camera, you can take many types of photos and videos, including live photos, which have a little bit of video in them, including slow-mo and panoramic, and even time-lapse videos. So we'll talk about what some of that is and what those are today. Also, it's wonderful and very easy to make professional and really awesome-looking slideshows from your photos. And you can adjust the transition speed. You can add various themes and effects to your slideshows, and you can even add music, either from your music library or from the list of sort of theme music that is provided that ship with your iPad. So you have a lot of ways to do these slideshows. There are some built-in ones that Apple creates for you. They call them memories. These are groups of photos and videos that may revolve around a specific event or a specific time. So, for example, if you have a child's birthday coming up, you might see featured photos from that child throughout the years. If it's Christmas, you might see Christmases past and present. If it's you might see a summer vacation or summer vacations. We tend to go to the same place, to the beach, almost every year. We're going this year again. Praise God. Looking forward to it very much. And it's one of our favorite places to go. And we have beach trips from throughout over the years, and so those will be featured in a memory. And of course, this is great on Apple TV, but it's also great on iPad. And that's what we're here to talk about. So we'll show you a little bit of that. In addition to all of that, if you have photos and videos on a camera or on an SD card, it is entirely possible to bring those photos and videos over to your iPad, import them, and then not only store them, but view them in the Photos app. Now, I'll talk about the accessories that are needed for that in a moment, and we will cover that. I also want to remind you, as with most of the things that we talk about, that the Photos app is fully compatible with iCloud. And this is done in one of several ways. So you have the iCloud photo syncing, which means that you can store your entire iCloud library, your entire photo library in iCloud, all of your photos and videos. Now, if you're going to do that, you're probably going to want to upgrade your iCloud storage. Most people are going to need a little extra to do that. You can pay just 99 cents a month, I'll remind you. For 50 gigabytes of iCloud storage, you get 5 gigabytes for free. But you can pay just basically $1 a month, 99 cents a month, to get 50 gigabytes of iCloud storage. And that's probably going to be enough for a lot of people. But you can go much higher than that if you need to. For $2.99, you can get 200 gigabytes. For $9.99, you can get 2 terabytes. If you already have one of the high-end Apple One bundles, you can add that $9.99 plan on there and end up with 4 terabytes. And you can pay even more for 6 or 12 terabytes of storage if you need it. Now, the iCloud photos, the way that works then is so that basically when you take a photo or you record a video, those photos and videos that you take will automatically be uploaded to iCloud. When you take a photo or video, a lot of times it'll upload to iCloud instantly or right away. Sometimes if it's a longer video or what have you, it may wait a little bit until your iPad is plugged in and charging and asleep, or when you're on Wi-Fi versus when you're not, but they will eventually upload to iCloud. And then as soon as they do, they will be available on all of your Apple devices, iPhones, iPads, Macs, Apple TVs, and so on. And so you can easily view whatever photos and videos you take from one device on all of the rest of your devices. And if you make edits to a photo or video on a particular device, or if you delete a photo or video from a particular device, that change is also in effect across all of your Apple devices. The other feature you have with the iCloud library is the shared library. This is one of the newest features to come to the Photos app, and it's great. And it's great for families because what happens is that there is one library for each of you in the family, up to 6 people in a family share group. But then there's also a family or a shared library so that you can move photos and videos you've taken that are appropriate for the whole family. You can move those to the shared library, and you can even set it up to automatically put photos and videos in the shared library if they are seeming to be relevant to the whole family. So in other words, if we take a picture with our kids in it, excuse me, that's automatically going to go in the shared library, depending on our settings, right? You can manually move anything at any time. You can view one library or both libraries together. It's really powerful, and it's a great way for families to easily have all the photos because, since I don't actually currently have physical eyesight, not in the traditional sense, I can tell you that usually it's my wife or my kids who are taking the pictures and the videos. Now, sometimes I do, or sometimes they'll use my device, but more often than not, it's my wife or my kids. But I want to be able to see them and access them. So I always had to say, make sure you put that in our shared album or something. Well, now they can just go to the shared library and then everything will be there. But you also do have the ability to make shared albums in addition to that. And those are iCloud albums as well. And these are great, again, for families, maybe the grandparents, the grandkids, aunts and uncles, or even other people, other friends, other relatives, coworkers, what have you. You can have as many. I don't know if there is a limit somewhere, but I mean, within reason, you can have as many albums as you want and as your storage space allows, and you can share them with whomever you want. So maybe I have one album. We have one called Kids, right? And we put photos and videos, and all the grandparents subscribe to it. And, you could have others for if you're working with a team of people on a specific event, you can have, a shared album with them. And so when you do this, then you can set it up where the participants have the ability to also upload photos and videos, or only you do, but they can just view them. People can comment on them. You can even make them public with a link so that anybody who has the link can access these shared albums. We can organize our photos in this way. And we can make our own personal albums as well, which are synced with iCloud, but which are only for our account, right? And so there are so many different options here. We can edit our photos, crop, rotate, add special effects and enhancements, and we can even mark up our photos. And using VoiceOver, we have the ability to have image descriptions and some really cool things here. And we can look up information in photos. So I'm going to show you some of this. I'd like to start out by talking about getting photos and videos onto your iPad. Certainly, if you've been using an iPhone to take photos and videos, all you need to do is make sure that iCloud photo syncing is available on, or is enabled rather, on all of your devices. And then the photos and videos will automatically be available on your iPad. So that's the easiest option, right? If you've been an iPhone user already, you have 1,000 photos, videos, whatever. I'm just picking a random number. You have those on your iPhone. Just make sure you enable iCloud photo syncing on all the devices, right? That's under settings and your name. and iCloud. Okay. And you can enable that. You can choose to optimize your device storage, which means it's not going to automatically download everything. But it's going to be available to view, and then it downloads it when and if it needs to, and it removes it when and if it needs to. So that's a good option. I highly recommend. But what if you have photos and videos on a more traditional camera or on an SD card? Well, there are two accessories that would be very helpful with that Apple makes for the iPad and really for any of their devices that support them. And the first one is, let's talk about if you need to get photos and videos from a USB device like a digital camera over to your iPad. Well, this is a fantastic adapter, and it's for use not only with cameras, but for quite a lot of other things. I highly recommend this adapter because it's great if you're going to connect to projectors, which we'll talk about later, if you're going to connect external drives like thumb drives, even microphones. And this is a little bit of a long name of this adapter. So if you're taking notes, write it down. If not, you'll pick it up in the podcast or on YouTube, right? It is the and this is made by Apple, available in the Apple Store, on the app, online, what have you. It's called the USB-C Digital AV Multi-Port Adapter. What a name, right? So already we know that it's USB-C, and that's great because all of the modern iPads are USB-C. If you are still using a Lightning iPad, don't worry, we have an option for you. I'll talk to you about it in a moment, but let's cover what I think is probably the majority of the iPads first here, and that's USB-C. So again, you need the USB-C Digital AV Multi-Port Adapter. This connects to the USB-C port of your iPad and gives you 3 ports on the other side. One is a standard USB port. That is where you will connect most common digital cameras. You also have an HDMI port, which is great for connecting to projectors and television screens and so on. And we'll talk about that in a later session, but that port is also available. And the third one then is a second USB-C port, so that if you need to connect a USB-C device, or if you need to charge your really the main use for that, because if you need to connect a USB-C device only, you connect it right to the iPad, right? But let's suppose you need to also charge the iPad at the same time. So it's a pass-through port for charging. So you would connect the adapter to your iPad and maybe connect, a USB cable or a camera or an HDMI cable or whatever. But then you're also going to plug in your power adapter so you can charge the iPad at the same time. So that is the third port on that, multi-port adapter. Now, that is a great way to connect your camera to your iPad. But what if you have an SD card? Well, that's where we would purchase the Apple USB-C SD card reader. And that is just what it says. Plugs into the USB-C port of your iPad and gives you an SD card slot on the other end. So you can put your camera card right in there, and it's going to show up. It used to be that when you connected it that way, it automatically opened the Photos app. But because there has been expanded support for true file and folder navigation, it doesn't automatically open the Photos app now, because I guess probably, I don't want to speak for Apple, but I assume that probably the thinking is this way you can decide what you want to do. If you want to view in the Files app, or if you want to import the photos. So if you want to import the photos or the videos or both from that SD card to the iPad, all you do is connect the adapter and put the SD card in its slot, and then open the Photos app yourself, and you will see a new section with the location of that SD card, and you'll have an option to import all the photos or select which ones you want to import, and it will load them onto the iPad for you, and then it will ask if you want to keep them on your SD card or delete them. So it's a traditional import experience there, as with the cameras. Once you open the Photos app, but you just have to remember to open the Photos app yourself. So those are the two that you would possibly need if you're trying to get photos onto your device from another source. The older iPads, 9th generation, 8th generation, what have you, they have Lightning ports, not USB-C. So what you need for those are the what they call, Lightning to USB 3 camera adapter. Make sure you get the one with the number 3 in it, because that's going to give you that pass-through lightning port for charging, just like the newer multi-port adapter has the USB-C charge port also. So again, that's the lightning to USB 3 camera adapter. If you do need HDMI, there is an Apple Lightning AV adapter for HDMI. And then the other one you have is there is a Lightning to SD card reader. So all of these are available on the Apple Store app or the website, or by calling Apple, or by visiting an Apple retail store. Okay. They may be available at third-party retailers as well, like Walmart, Sam's Club, Target, Best Buy, and B&H, for example. But I would recommend getting the genuine Apple ones if possible. If you're going to need a lot of ports, you might want to consider something third-party like a docking station. They do make USB-C hubs that have like anywhere from 5 ports all the way up to, I don't know what that hyperdrive one is even up to now. Trainer Kliph can tell us later, but there's a one that has tons and tons of ports in it, right? All kinds of other things, micro USB, audio ports, all kinds of other stuff, right? But they're a little bit bigger, a little bit higher in price, but very, very nice as well. So if you need them, certainly that's the other way to go. All right, so that is how you get photos and videos onto your iPad if they're not already available in iCloud or what have you. Of course, you can also sync from your computer. That's becoming kind of a legacy way to do it, right? But it's still supported. And then, of course, we can take photos or videos with the built-in cameras on this device. We'll talk about that. Right now, we're going to take a look at the Photos app. It has a sidebar, and you'll get to see that in a moment.
Photos. Double tap to open.
The Photos app is on my dock. We'll open it.
Photos. Photo. Date, March 22nd. Time, 11:01 p.m. More content available. A smartphone screenshot of a home screen with a group of application icons. 11:01:63.
Now, it sort of helpfully put me on a particular photo already, which happened to, I guess, have been a screenshot or something, but it's not the most recent one. I'm going to swipe through a few others so you can listen to that again.
Photo. Date, March 25th. Time, 2:40 a.m. More content available. A screenshot of a social media post with text and an image of Matthew posing for a photo. Finity Mob. Live photo. Date, March 30th. Time, 12 p.m. More content available. Dog. Textile.
All right, that one has a dog, and it's a live photo, so we can use this as an example of several things. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open this by double tapping it here.
Live back button.
And the back button is at the very upper left of the screen. There is a sidebar, but this is not really a split screen app. It technically would qualify as a full screen app because we want to be able to see our photos, and so the back button is at the very upper left of the iPad.
Back button.
Okay, if we start moving to the right now,
share button.
There's a share button, and this is going to be very important because it brings up our share sheet with lots of options. It'll have photo sharing suggestions of people that maybe we want to share this with. Of course, we can share it by messages and email and so on. If we have apps like Facebook installed, it's going to let us post to Facebook, and it's even going to give us a lot of other options, like to use this as wallpaper, to print it out, to use it as a contact photo. Let me show you some of these sharing options, and I'm also going to show you something else that's very important about the share menu or the share sheet in the Photos app. So be paying attention to this, please. Let's open up the share button here.
One photo selected.
All right, I'm going to sort of touch the lower middle of the screen.
Shelly, messages,
and
button.
Going to swipe left.
Jessica, photo selection list, live photo.
Okay, we got,
Carson, Shelly,
as you can see,
Jessica, photo selection.
we got
Jessica.
out of it there by swiping further left, and what we have then is other photos that we could select to add to this by double tapping them. So if it looks like, oh, I don't know where I am, I thought I was in the share sheet, but I'm hearing other photos, that's why, because if you keep swiping left, that's where you go. Now at the top of the screen,
one photo selected. One photo selected.
You can hear that one photo is selected. And
location services. One photo selected. Location services. Location is included. Options button.
That's all at the very top of the screen. I did a 4-finger single tap to get there. So you heard that one photo is selected. As I told you, if I had wanted to, I could add additional photos to the selection right here, but it would then say that. But you also heard something else very important, which is location is included. Listen again.
Location services. Location is included.
Now, why is this so important? Well, the camera app allows for, and by default includes, location. I mean, you have to give it explicit permission to do that the first time you use it. But I highly recommend it because it includes the location, so they're geotagged, so later on you could go back in your photos and say, where was I when I took this photo? Well, it'll tell you where you were. And that's great for you and probably your close family and friends. But it might not be what you want when you're posting to places like Facebook. And that's why this options button appears at the top, just to the right of that.
Options button.
And we can tap on that and we will see.
Options heading.
Swipe to the right.
Done button.
There's the done button.
Include heading.
Include. Now you have to do this on a case-by-case basis, so every time you share, you think about this and decide, okay? Include. Let's go to the right.
Location. Switch button on.
If we don't
Double tap to toggle settings.
wish to include the location where this photo was taken, we can simply turn that off, okay?
Format. Heading.
Now here's the format and
Selected. Automatic. Current. Most compatible. Choose automatic for the best format for the destination or current to prevent file format conversions.
I like to
Photos
just
and videos may convert to JPEG and H.264 formats if you choose most compatible.
So I typically just leave this alone, and it usually works just fine, praise God. And that's why automatic is a good choice there. But it is using a high efficiency format for Apple to Apple, so when it sends to, let's say, an Android user, it should convert it to JPEG or something. But again, if you're concerned about that, you can change it. But I have found that automatic works just fine.
Send as heading.
And then we have send as.
Selected. Automatic.
Again, automatic, which will choose the best from the following options.
Individual photo. iCloud link.
And that means, is it going to send the photo directly to the person I'm sharing with, or is it going to send a link to download it? And that, again, automatic is the best option there, because if you're sending 10 or 12 photos in a message, it's going to send a link and have the person download them when they choose to, rather than automatically sending that many, photos or videos to the device, which may not even work depending on how they're being sent. So I encourage you to leave these alone, but to also be aware that they exist, so that if you do need ever to change them, you will know how to do it. And especially that first one, right? The one I really brought you in here to show you, which was the location. Because if you are posting to somewhere where you're at all concerned about this, then you can easily turn off location sharing for that particular sharing session. So I think that's everything in here.
When sending with messages only, automatic selects the best format based on file size or number of items being shared.
Okay, that was just a little...
Sending as an iCloud link will share URL to view or download photos or videos.
Right. That's a good description of that, praise God, and a little bit of clarification. It's only for the Messages app when that choice applies. I think there may actually be one other thing in this section. Let me see.
AirDrop and iCloud links only. Heading.
Okay, this is specifically for AirDrop and for iCloud links.
All photos data. Switch button. Off. Original quality files will include edit history and metadata like location, depth information, and captions.
That's not being
The
shared.
recipient can view the current version and modify any edits.
Right, that's not being shared by default.
Original
So let's go back.
Include at photos. Photos. Choose automatic. Send. Selected. Done.
We're just going to hit done there. All right. So
One photo selected.
you might remember we're still in the share sheet, but I wanted to show you that options button. Go to the very top of the screen, and it'll tell you how many photos are selected. Swipe to the right.
Location services. Location is included.
Swipe to the right again.
Options. Button.
And there's options. All right. So let's now go back down to the lower part of the screen and find our sharing suggestions first.
Some Volbrecht. Carson Volbrecht. Shelley. Kliph. Some Vulbrex.
So, even so,
4 people. Messages.
4-person group.
Kliph. Family chat. Fred Bucka. Kylie Pat Murphy.
Now,
class test.
We're about to get to the
Mom. Messages.
list of options.
Jessica and AirDrop. Button.
AirDrop, which I think we've talked about, that's peer-to-peer, so people in the same room, same house, the same building, you can share using AirDrop directly, and that's really cool. We will remind you in a later session how to make sure that everybody is ready to receive AirDrop, because you have to have AirDrop receiving turned on for that to work, and you have to be signed into an Apple ID and have Bluetooth enabled, Wi-Fi enabled. You don't have to be on the same Wi-Fi network, though, because it creates its own sort of little ad hoc Wi-Fi network for you.
Messages, mail, button, notes, button.
Messages, mail, and notes are common ways we can share. We can send the photo or video or multiple photos and videos via messages, via email. We can add or attach them to a note in the Notes app, which we're going to learn about next week.
Reminders.
Praise God. The Reminders app.
Freeform.
The Freeform app.
Facebook. Button.
Now, here's some apps we have installed, maybe that not everybody does, but Facebook.
Zoom. Button. Final Cut Pro. Amazon. Amber. Button. Books. Button. More. Button.
And then the next section here.
Copy photo. Button. Add to shared album.
That's where you can add them to a shared album. Remember, we talked a little bit ago about shared albums. So you can add your photo or video to a shared album there. And either create a new album or add to an existing shared album.
Add to album.
Now that's just add to album. That's a regular non-shared personal album.
AirPlay. Button.
You can AirPlay this to an Apple TV or another smart television that has AirPlay support.
Use as wallpaper. Button.
You can use it as your wallpaper.
Copy iCloud link.
All right, copy iCloud link to share a link to this photo to somebody.
Export unmodified original. Button.
All right.
Assign to contact. Button.
Okay, that makes sense, right? Assign it to a contact, so it's somebody's contact poster.
Print. Button.
You can print it out.
Save to files. Button.
You can save your photo as a file.
Find products on Amazon.
All right, so
Process in Prismo. Edit actions.
I'm not talking about every one of these, but you get the idea there. That's our share sheet.
Copy.
I'm going to touch off of it.
Close button.
Actually, just hit the close button.
Back button.
So we're still viewing this photo with the dog in it, and we showed you the share button because it was the first thing after the back button on the left.
Share button.
Upper left. Let's keep going now.
Favored. Switch button. Off.
We can make this one of our favorites.
This photo as a favorite photo.
There you go.
Tap to toggle setting.
You can hear that for yourself.
Favored.
Listen again.
Switch button. Off. Marks this photo as a favorite photo. Double tap to toggle setting.
Okay, keep going.
Lower Paxton Township, March 30th, 12:01 p.m. Heading.
And that's where it tells you the location that the photo was taken, and it tells you the date and the time.
Edit button.
All right, here's our edit button. We'll take a look at that in a moment, but that's how we can edit a photo. Let's just look what else is in here.
Detected item info button.
Detected item info. That is so cool, and I'm going to demonstrate it for you in a moment.
Delete button.
There's a way we can delete the photo or video if we want to do that.
Actions button.
And here are some additional actions. This is like duplicating the photo. Let's see what else.
Copy button. Duplicate button. Hide button.
Yeah, you can hide the photo.
Slideshow button.
Make a slideshow.
Save as video button.
Okay.
Add to album button.
And the reason you can save it as a video is because it's a live photo. It has some video in it.
Adjust date and time button. Adjust location button. Dismiss context menu.
We're not going to do any of that right now.
Back button.
But I will say that's how that's done.
Delete action. Live photo. Date.
Now,
March 30th. Time 12:01 p.m. Actions available. More content available. Stuffed animals. Textile.
right after the actions button
Actions
is this
button. Live photo.
where it just says live photo, right?
Time.
And
show details. Explore image. Activate.
those are the rotor actions. But if I long press this, double tap and hold, I don't know if you'll hear it because it's very quick and I don't think there was much talking in this one right here, but let's just do it anyway.
Here's another one, Chick-fil-A.
3.
Oh, actually there was quite a bit of talking in that one. I
Textile.
don't know if you heard that exactly.
Stuffed animals. Textile.
That one, there was some talking in it, and it was, we were visiting with my parents, and you heard my mom saying something about ordering from Chick-fil-A, which we did do, and so she must have been saying about that, and you heard my daughter in there for a second. This is a great way, if you're still not sure what a photo is, to get a little bit of a video. It's a second before and a second after the actual keyframe, and for sighted folks it's great because you can see what's happening. You know, especially if somebody like is saying something, well, what was I saying at that point, right? You might be able to hear it. So this is, you can turn this on and off when you're taking a photo, but it's definitely a neat feature, and it only adds, it doubles the size of the photo, so it'd be like taking 2 photos as far as your storage space if you're concerned about that. And then
Live photo toolbar, photo chooser, photo 7743 of 7743.
that's at that's at the bottom.
Swipe up or down.
And that's it. That's like a selector, so you can change what's there, what photo you're currently viewing without having to go back to the library. I want to go back and show you some of these other options in here. Let's go to the left.
Delete. Detected edit.
So first I want to do this.
Detected item info button.
Let's double tap on that.
Detected item info.
Okay.
Delete. Actions. Live. Info. Close button.
Go to the right.
Add a caption. Text field.
We can add a caption.
Look up Yorkshire Terrier button.
So it found a detected
Information card about Yorkshire Terrier found.
Right. It found that, and it's a picture of our dog. Well, either our dog or my mom and dad's, because we both have Yorkies. Actually, it could have been either one. But the detected item info brings up this info screen, and it has look up Yorkshire Terrier, and I'm going to do that.
Look up finds results about the content of your photos from the web, the App Store, nearby locations, and more. You can adjust this in settings. Continue button. In progress. Results. Heading.
Now listen here.
Siri knowledge. Heading. Yorkshire Terrier. Dog breed. Wikipedia. Button.
So we can double tap on that to be taken to Wikipedia.
Australian Silky Terrier. Dog breed. Wikipedia. Button. Similar web images. Heading. Image. A dog sitting on a grassy field. Image. A dog on a leash standing on a cemented surface.
So you get the idea. It's showing us similar images.
Image.
A lot of similar images. But go back here.
Siri results. Siri knowledge. Heading. Yorkshire Terrier. Dog breed. Wikipedia. Button.
And if I want to learn a little more, I can double tap on that.
Yorkshire. A person holding a dog in front of a white background. A brown dog wearing a red bow on its head. A green N. Yorkshire Terrier. Heading. Yorkshire Terrier. Dog breed. About. Heading. The Yorkshire Terrier, also known as a Yorkie, is a British breed of toy dog of terrier type. It is among the smallest of the terriers and indeed of all dog breeds, with a weight of no more than 3.2 kilogram. It originated in the 19th century in the English county of Yorkshire, after which it is named.
Alright, so anyway, we will
Yorkshire results. Back button.
go back.
Results. Heading.
And
Siri knowledge. Heading.
We can
Picture in picture. Photos. Image. Dismiss pop-up.
get out of that.
Back button.
That was our detected item info, and that is really cool because it works on a lot of different things. So it works, for example, on places, I believe, and certainly on animals. We just heard that one. It works on foods. If it can detect what kind of food you have a picture of in your image, it will try to find recipes for that food item. It works on laundry detergent signs, like, you know, your tags, your laundry tag on a shirt. It will tell you the washing instructions or what have you. It works for like the dashboard of your car. You know how you get those different symbols on your dashboard and so forth. What do they mean? Well, you can take a picture of those and you can use the lookup feature like that. So this is a really neat feature that is part of our Photos app, and it's, as you can see, very easy to use. Let's see what else we have now here.
Share. Button. Favorite. Lower Paxton. Edit. Detected item info. Button. Delete. Actions. Button. Live photo. Info. Heading.
Okay.
Close. Button.
Once I typed...
Dismisses the info panel.
Right. Once I chose detected item info, it actually brought up the whole info panel, so it also has other things.
Add a caption. Text field.
That's where...
Double tap to edit.
That's where you can add a caption, which will be visible on the photo. So, you know, if I wanted to type something here, you know, my dog is laying stretched out real cozy or something, I could say, isn't that the life or whatever. You can put a caption that everybody would see here. VoiceOver will read those if you use the rotor when you move the VoiceOver cursor focus to a particular photo or video. You can swipe up or down to hear different information about the photo, and one of the things you will hear is the caption, and of course people can see the captions. Now we also
Look up Yorkshire Terrier button.
we already did that.
Creation date Saturday, March 30th. Adjust button. Selected. iCloud status uploaded. File name img_1754. Camera description Apple iPad, 8th generation.
So that's my daughter who took that photo because she's got the 8th generation iPad.
File format HEIF. Live photo, image, lens description wide camera. 32 millimeters, resolution 8 megapixels, dimensions 3200,
Anyway,
file size 1.
Look at that, you can get a lot of information.
264, file size 1.6 megabytes, ISO 500, focal length 33, exposure bias, aperture at shutter speed.
Look at all that stuff.
Map with nearby photo
And
location.
map with nearby photos, so we can see other photos that were taken nearby.
Look, adjust, but added by Kylie to the shared library.
Yeah, and it even tells us it was added by Kylie to the shared library.
Unnamed pet button.
There's an unnamed pet. So I could actually name that pet, and I'll do that once I find out whether it was our Yorkie or whether it was my mom's. I sort of think we've named ours, so it probably was Bella, but I don't know for sure. I would rather double check.
Unnamed pet button. Items in focus. 2 items.
Actually,
Item
looks
two
like
of two.
there are
Look
2
up
pets. Maybe it's both of them.
Item 1 of 2. Lookup button. Toolbar. Photo chooser. Photo chooser.
A lot of information. So now we can hide that info panel.
Focal length.
Clear back over here.
Select create lookup. Add a caption. Close button. Close.
And
Photo.
other thing I'll show you
Live.
is
Unnamed pet. Live act delete.
the
Live act delete. Detect edit. Button.
the edit button. So this is the edit menu of things you can do with a photo.
Cancel button. Undo. Dimmed. Redo. Dimmed button.
Excuse me. So the first thing you have is your undo and redo buttons, which if you make edits, you always want to know where they are in case you need that.
Adjust. Heading.
Now here's adjust.
Markup button.
We can mark up a photo. And when we mark up a photo, that's another way to put a great VoiceOver label on it, because let's look at the markup options here.
Markup alert. Markup turns off live photo.
Oh.
Live photo will be turned off and edits will apply to the still photo only.
Nah.
Cancel.
We won't do it on this one then. I'll do it on another one.
Enhancements.
Alright, so you have that
zoom, but plugins,
markup button there though, and I will show you that in a couple of minutes with a different photo. But let's go to the right.
Plugins button.
Okay, so there are some third-party apps that actually install plugins here. We can see what they are.
Options. Prismo button. Option. More button.
Okay.
Copy edits button. Paste edits button. Edit actions.
Now I have other photo editing apps, but that's the only one here that apparently puts the plug in there.
Edit.
So
dismiss pop-up.
we will get out of that.
Alert. Prismo turns off live photo. Live cancel.
We're not going to do that.
Dismiss pop-up.
And
Cancel. Cancel. Can't cancel.
where else we are here.
Options. Prismo button.
Okay.
Cancel.
Now
Button.
we're back. Let me do the next thing, because that we're still, you might remember, in the edit menu, and so the next thing.
Undo. Mark plugins. Zoom button.
Okay.
Done. Dimmed button. Enhancements. Auto off. Adjustable.
Now.
Double tap to toggle enhancement. Swipe up or down with one finger to move to a different enhancement.
So
move to next element to set enhancement intensity.
Okay, so the first slider here allows you to choose what type of enhancement you are adding to this. So let's swipe up or down to hear some of them.
Auto off. Light exposure 0%. Brilliance 0%. Highlights 0%. Shadows 0%. Contrast 0. Brightness, black point, color, saturation 0%. Vibrance 0%. Warmth, tint, details, sharpness 0%. Definition 0. Noise reduction, vignette 0%.
Look at all those options. So whichever one you pick, you then swipe to the right.
Off. Intensity slider for auto dimmed.
And because we didn't turn it on, it's dimmed right now, but if we had double tapped it, we would turn it on. We could adjust the intensity.
Live photo, image,
Now,
a group of dogs standing on a gray carpet with a group of stuffed animals.
So it is both dogs there.
Live photo, button. Selected, adjust, button.
So this live photo button allows us to choose which is the keyframe and to make other changes to the way the live photo plays.
Filters, button.
We have filters.
Crop and rotate, button.
There's crop and rotate.
Crop and filters.
So if we
button.
pick filters instead of adjust,
Filters. Adjust, button. Live photo, live, selected, filter chooser, original, and done. Zoom, button.
Look now,
Selected,
filter chooser.
Filter chooser, original, vivid. Vivid warm, vivid cool, 100% dramatic, dramatic warm, dramatic cool, mono, silver tone, more, 100 more.
okay, look at all those choices.
Vivid, selected, original.
And then
Select live photo, live
Again,
adjust, selected, crop and rotate.
there's the third one, crop and rotate. So we'll put it back on adjust.
Live photo,
And
live
you can see that we're back on these
auto, off, adjust,
original options here.
done, zoom,
We had
button,
crop and rotate. We have
markup,
all of these.
button, adjust,
And of course,
heading, redo,
remember the markup, which I was going to show you.
button,
So let's cancel.
live photo, date,
And let's go
March 30th,
back.
live photo, back button.
And let's find one
back
that's not a
button,
live
days.
photo here.
Live, select, more, live, more, March 30th, photo, date, March 16th.
Okay.
Time, 3:25 p.m., shared, saved. More content available, a child posing for a photo in holding a green and brown toy.
That's definitely not a live photo.
Back button, share, favored, March 16th, edit, button, info, button, delete, actions, button. From Dana, button. Photo, date, March 16th, time, 3:25.
It told me who it's from.
Multiple subject available. Actions available. More content available. A child posing for a photo in holding a green and brown toy.
And if I were to use the rotor actions here,
Show details. Explore image. Activate.
okay,
Default.
it said there's a liftable subject available.
Toolbar. Photo chooser. Photo.
So
from
let's
Dana.
look at
Actions.
edit
button,
first.
Delete info.
Well, let's look at actions first and see if there's anything.
Copy. Duplicate. Hide. Slideshow. Add to album. Move to shared library. Adjust date and time. Adjust location. Feature a person less. Button. Dismiss context menu.
So that is a few extra options there, at least one extra option. And let's edit this one.
Cancel. Undo. Read photo. Image. Adjust. Heading. Red eye. Button.
Now this one, because there's a person in this particular image, has the red eye button. You can adjust, you can remove red eye. That's always important, right? Let's go to the right.
Markup. Button.
Here's markup, which I will show you this time.
Plugins. Button. Zoom. Done. Enhancements. Auto. Off. Intensity slider for selected. Adjust.
These are all the same, I think.
Filters. Button. Crop and rotate. Crop and
So,
and zoom.
let's look at markup.
Plugin. Markup. Button. Cancel. Button. Markup. Heading. Done. Button. Image canvas. Activate to start direct touch interaction.
So, direct touch is going to allow us to draw right on this, but
Undo, dimmed, redo, selected, pen, color, monoline, color, black 0,
Listen.
marker, color, yellow 65.
we could change the color too.
Pen,
But
color,
listen,
black 0, marker, eraser, button, lasso, ruler, pencil, color, crayon, fountain pen, color, black watercolor, color, black selected, black, blue, green, yellow.
here's our color choosers.
Red, button, color picker, button, add, button,
Now,
more, button, tool palette handle, draggable, tool
so we can move it.
more,
I want you to look at add.
cancel, button,
These are the things we can add when we mark up.
markup, heading, done, image canvas, add sticker,
You can add a sticker.
description,
You can add a description.
add text,
You can add text.
add signature,
You can add a signature.
add shape,
Add a shape.
undo,
And I believe, I'm not going to test it on this particular photo, but I believe, I could be wrong. I would ask you to play with this in a case where it doesn't matter. Don't hold me to it. But I believe description is a voiceover label and text is actual visual text that people can see on the photo. I believe. but one of them, you just try it, you'll figure it out very quickly, because one of them lets you type text on there and VoiceOver reads it back when you come across the photo. So that is really a useful way to put a VoiceOver label if you need to. I recommend it over the VoiceOver label thing that people do with the through 3-finger, where you 2-finger double tap and hold, and then it lets you label the element. That is not really the way we're taught to tell people to VoiceOver label their photos anymore. It's this way. And of course you could also put a caption and stuff too. But anyhow, so you can mark up by adding those things.
Cancel.
We're going to cancel that. There was also a more button.
Cancel. Red markup plugin. Zoom button. Done. Dim.
Okay, so we're not in the markup anymore, so we're going to cancel out of this.
Plugins. Mark. Red. Adjust. Photo. Redo. Plug. Zoom.
Wait, cancel. I know.
Undo. Cancel.
Okay, there we go. Okay, so go back.
Back button. Favored. March 6th. Edit. Info. Delete. Actions.
Let's find this again.
From Dana. Button. Photo. Date. March 16th. Time. 3:25 p.m. Liftable subject available.
So
Actions available. More content
now,
available.
if
a child posing for toolbar. Photo chooser. Photo from Dana.
If we
Actions. Button.
wanted
Delete. Button.
the
Info. Button.
the info,
Edit. Info.
all right,
Button.
there's that info panel again,
Delete.
because
Action. From Dana. Info. Heading. Close. Button. Add a caption. Tech creation date Saturday. Adjust. But selected. iCloud status uploaded. File name 120. Camera description. No camera information. File format JPEG. Lens description. Resolution. Dimensions. File size 1 megabyte. ISO. Focal length. Exposure by aperture. Shutter speed.
I'm looking here.
Location. Shared with you by Dana Gates in messages. Reply to Dana Gates.
see, I can actually reply right here,
Unnamed person. Button.
and look at that.
Unnamed person. Button. Toolbar. Photo chooser. Photo. Unnamed person. Button.
So if I wanted to provide a name for the people in this photo, they are unnamed right now, but I would be able to do that if I knew who they were. So you get some people in your photos, and if you're sure who they are, you go ahead. Or if you need sighted help, get some sighted help and start labeling the people in your photos, because then VoiceOver will tell you in the future who is in your photos, and that's really cool. So that was under info. Again, I wanted to show you that.
Dimensions. Resolution. Files. File. Camera. File name. Select. Adjust. Creation date.
Okay,
Add a caption.
that one doesn't have camera info, likely not taken from an iPhone, but I could still see.
Resolution 3 megapixels. Create.
See, I can still see that info. Let's close that,
Close button. Close.
and let's go back.
Back button. Date range.
All right.
Days.
The next thing I'd like to show you how to do is to make a simple slideshow with multiple photos and music and everything. So down here at the bottom we have
Live photo. Select more. Select button.
the select button. It's after our very last photo.
More.
I'm swiping to the right, and you'll hear the more button. Let's show you what's in the more button.
Selected. Both libraries. Button. Personal library. Button. Shared library. Button. Selected. Shared library indicator. Button. Share photos. Button. Dismiss context menu.
That's good to know. The more button down there at the bottom, right? So you can choose which library you're viewing.
Date range.
We're viewing both. We happen to be set to both.
6,000
But then you
plus 3. But more. Button. 6,360 photos. 1,262 videos. Sync with iCloud just now.
all right, so that's good information to have. But let's swipe back, and here's our vertical scroll bar, so we can go back through earlier photos and stuff. But let's go back to the left to the select button.
More. Portrait. Button. Live photo. Selfies. Button. Live photo. Date. March 30th. Select. Button.
Let's hit select.
Select all. Photo. Animated. Button.
All right, we don't want to select all.
Screen recording.
All these different album types. Now,
ProRes. Toolbar. Select items. Delete. Dim. More. Dim.
down at the bottom you have delete and more.
More. Select item. Share. More. March 3rd. Photo. Date. March 16th. March 30th. Harrisburg. Heading.
Let's select some photos.
More. But. Live photo. Date. March. Selected. Live photo. Live photo. Live photo. Cancel. Selected.
Okay, I've selected 4.
Cancel. More. Button. Select all. Button. More. Button. Deselect all. Button. Vertical toolbar. Share. Button.
And I think the slideshow option,
4 photos selected.
is,
Delete. More. Button.
well, it might be under more or it might be under share. Let's check more. I can't remember now.
More.
It's been a little while since I've done this.
Adjust location. Adjust. Add to. Save as slideshow.
Yep,
Button.
there it is, slideshow. So we're going to create a slideshow. When I do this, it'll start to play with a default theme and a default music selection, but I can show the controls by double tapping, and we'll pause the slideshow and I'll show you what we can change about it then. So here we go.
Photos. Live photo. Live.
Double tap.
Live photo tool option. Pause. Button.
We'll pause. Okay. Now we can look at our screen here from left to right.
Done. Button. Done. Slideshow. Heading. AirPlay. Button.
We can AirPlay it.
Live photo. Image. Live photo. Toolbar. Play. Button.
There's our play button. Now,
1030. Denver.
okay, I'm getting a call that came through because, of course, I'm not in the Zoom app, so my focus is not on. But we will, that'll go away in just a moment, and I'll have to probably go back to the right screen here. Because normally what it does is it defaults back to the Zoom screen.
You are using enhanced encrypt. App switcher. Call with Zoom. Photos.
Anyway, okay.
Picture display.
So there we go. I apologize. Let's continue.
Photos.
So
image. Toolbar. Play. Button.
we were on that button. That's our play button, and that's where we can continue playing the slideshow. But look to the right now.
Options. Button.
Options.
Options. Button.
If we choose that,
Theme. Magazine. Button.
the first one is theme. The theme will change the look of the screen, perhaps the background, the transitions, effects, but also it will change the music, or you can manually select music.
Music. Magazine. Button.
Now, with the music option, you can select these sort of free included music themes, and you can select music from your own library. We won't do the second one because of copyright reasons, of course, but we will let it on this default music. But I wanted to show you that both of those buttons are there, so we could select a different theme if we wanted, a different music track.
Repeat. Switch button. Off.
Repeat is
Double tap to top.
off right now.
Slideshow speed. 50%. Adjustable.
You can adjust the speed,
Slideshow speed.
and we'll go back to
Theme. Music. Dismiss pop-up.
the screen.
Done. Cap D.
We'll play it.
Image.
What's left of it.
Image. Toolbar. Play.
Now.
Button. Play. Image. A brown dog lying on a white carpet. Options. 2 brown dogs lying on a white carpet.
I'll pause that so you can hear the music. But isn't it nice that it does describe them to you?
Live photo. Image. A group of dogs lying on a carpet with a group of stuffed animals.
And there it is. And that's our slideshow. Now we will hit done.
AirPlay. Slide. Done. Button.
That's how easy it is to make a really cool slideshow.
Sidebar.
Now we're going to...
Toolbar. 4 photos selected. Delete. More. Share.
We want to... You see how you can share multiple photos too, right? Because they're all selected. Not all, but 4 of them are selected.
Deselect all.
We're going to deselect all.
Select all.
And we're going to
Select more. Live. Cancel. More.
hit cancel.
Button. Select.
Okay, so that's another thing I wanted to show you, how to make a simple slideshow. Now I'd like to show you the sidebar. The show sidebar button, if your sidebar is not already visible, is actually going to be at the bottom of the screen this time instead of at the top left. Right down here by where we already are, where it has the iCloud upload status, syncing status, the total number of photos. Remember it said like 6,000 some odd photos, 1,000 videos. It said synced with iCloud just now. There's a button, if you keep swiping left, you found that more button which had our library choices and stuff. There would be a show sidebar button down here as well. Now my sidebar is already showing, so I can go to the very top left of the screen.
Hide sidebar.
And there's the hide sidebar button, and if I swipe to the right,
Photos. Edit. Button.
we can edit what's on that sidebar. But let's take a listen and a look at what types of things are on the sidebar in the Photos app.
Portrait. Button. Panoramas. Live photos.
Let me go back.
Recent
I didn't quite get to
utilities.
the beginning there. Let's go.
Photos. Hide
Okay,
sidebar.
here we go. To the right now.
Photos. Heading. Edit. Button. Selected. Library. Button.
So right now, that's the one that's selected, my library. That's viewing everything, right? We can use the scroll bar. We can adjust the date range at the bottom. I didn't even get into that, but you can adjust the date range.
For you. Button.
Here's a For You section. That's where those already done slideshows called memories are going to be. It's also where you're going to see shared photo changes.
People and Pets button.
There's the People and Pets album. You can find the people you've already named. You can find other people and name them that way as well. I showed you how to do it from within a photo, but you can also do it from within that library because it's going to have a list of all the people. So you can pick the person you need to name. And one of the nicest things is that you can search for photos by name then too. And you can name your pets as well.
Places button.
There's Places.
Favorites button.
Of course, you know what that is.
Recents button. Search button.
There's Search.
Utilities button. Expanded.
Now, just like with the sidebar
To collapse.
on the music and TV apps and so forth, this is expandable and collapsible. This is Utilities. Under that, we have
Imports.
Imports
Duplicates.
and Duplicates. So if you have duplicate photos and want to delete one of them, you can look through them that way.
Recently deleted button. Image.
And recently
Black
deleted.
text next to an illustration of a pen on a white background. Recently deleted.
And I think they stay in there for 30 days.
Media types button.
All right,
Expand.
another expandable section if you want to view
collapse.
everything
Actions available.
by media type. This is really useful. Listen to these.
Videos button. Selfies. Live photos. Portrait. Panoramas. Time lapse. Slow-mo. Cinematic. Bursts. Screenshots. Screen recordings. Animated. RAW. ProRes.
Look at all those different choices. ProRes, RAW, time-lapse, video, slow-mo, pano, live photo, all these different choices. So it helps you to narrow down what you're looking at. If you just want to look at your videos, then just choose videos there.
Shared albums button. Expanded.
Another expandable section. These are the shared albums.
All shared albums. Kids. Disney Photos 2023. Carson and Molly Prom 2023. Mima's Camera. Family. Button. Summer 2019 Trip. TTJ. All Monument. National Aviation. Friends and...
Look at all these.
Friends and Family. Button.
Now,
Movies. Button. TV show. New shared album. Button.
at the bottom there, you can create a new shared album. And then you're going to get into your personal albums now.
My albums. Button. Expanded. All albums.
And again,
September 6th.
you have the ability
September 6th.
to, I guess at the bottom there again, to create a new album. So this has been a very brief, but yet I think helpful look at the Photos app for you. And I'm just very quickly going to go into the camera app. I don't know that I can use the camera since Zoom is active, but I just want to show you the app.
Home. Remind. File. FaceTime. One missed FaceTime call.
Well, I got to think where I have it.
App.
Here.
Camera.
Okay.
Camera. Take picture. 0 people.
Looks like it actually will work. I want to get my face into view here.
Photo at tilt left. Level.
Okay, it's level now. Am I in view?
Tilt right. Level. Camera chooser. Back facing.
Oh, of course I'm not in view because it's doing the back-facing camera. All right, so by default it's on the back-facing. Let's go all the way to the left here.
Top lock viewfinder. Focus unlocked.
All right.
Image. Tilt left. A black surface with 0 people.
Okay, I
Yellow
tilt.
square on a
It's
black
guiding me where to
level.
tilt the camera.
Live photo on button.
That's how you decide if you want your photo to be a live photo. You can turn that off if you don't.
Timer off button.
We can put a timer on
Switch
here.
between timer durations.
So you have different timer modes. Let's try it.
Timer 3 seconds. Timer 10 seconds. Timer off.
Off 3 seconds or 10 seconds. Great for taking a photo with the timer on it.
Personal library 0 people.
Okay.
Personal library button.
That is going to let
Right level.
that's going to let you choose where the photo is going to go. It may try to determine it for you based on your settings and based on once you take the photo.
Camera chooser back facing button.
We're going to switch that in a moment.
Take picture button.
There's the take picture, the shutter button.
Photo and video viewer button.
That's how you can quickly jump to viewing the current photo you just took.
Camera mode photo adjustable.
And this,
Swipe up or down with 0 people. Zoom. Camera mode photo.
swipe up or down.
Square. Pano 0 people. Pano 0 people. Square. Photo 0 people. Video. SLO mode. Time lapse. Time lapse. SLO.
We'll go back to
SLO mode. Video.
Photo. But that's
0
the
people.
camera chooser. All those options. Pano, square, photo, video, time lapse. a lot of different options. I'll talk about a couple of those. Most of them are probably pretty self-explanatory. Slow-mo is a lot of fun to play with, and time-lapse is really cool. And that's one of the big things that they talk about with Apple teacher candidates for education, with using the iPad to make time-lapse videos. If you want to, for example, take a video of a flower opening up in the morning, or some kind of a science experiment that changes very slowly over a number of hours, you take a time-lapse video and it increases the rate of it. So in other words, maybe an 8-hour event now is condensed to about 3 or 4 seconds. You can watch that flower bud opening up in just a few seconds rather than having to sit there and watch it for 6 or 8 hours. Now, there's a limit, I believe, of 30 hours for a time-lapse video. And of course, you'd have to have your device plugged in to even get that, because iPads get 10 hours of battery. So you'd want to have it plugged in if you're going to be taking a 30-hour video. And of course, you may also be limited by your device storage space. But time-lapse is really cool. Anyhow, the other thing I have here...
Zoom 1.0x.
Zoom.
Zoom 1.0 level. Zoom. Camera mode.
Now,
Square. Adjustable. Pano. Square. 0 p. Pano. Pano.
Let's go back to...
Square. Photo. Zoom. 1. Zoom. 1. Tilt right.
And I
level.
guess that's...
Zoom. Cap. Photo and video viewer. But take picture.
So, I want to switch to...
Camera chooser. Back facing. Camera choose. 0 people. Camera chooser. Front facing.
Now.
Button. One face near bottom edge. Tilt left. Level.
Okay, I got my face in there.
Take picture. But
Smile. Did I get it? Let's see.
photo and video viewer.
Let's go to the photo and video viewer here.
Camera. Back button. Share. Button. Favored. Switch today. 3:41 p.m. Heading. Edit. Button. Info. Button. Delete. All photos. Actions. Button. Live photo. Time. 3:41 p.m. Actions available. More content available. Matthew posing for a photo in front of a window with blinds.
And that could not have been a better description. That's exactly what it was. And you heard it say that it knows who I am. If we long press this, maybe you'll hear me talk. Guess not. I must have been quiet at the moment that it...
Live photo.
Okay.
Live action.
Let's try it again.
Live photo. Time. 3:41 p.m.
Yes, not.
Actions
Okay, but...
delete. Info. Edit. Today. Favored.
Go back
Share.
to the camera.
Back button. Camera. Take picture. Button.
If you have a home video, or you know, any video, whatever for that matter, you can actually upload it directly from the Photos app to YouTube. It's in a shared sheet. Now, you might want to, you know, edit it or crop it or trim it or whatever you're going to do, but you can do it directly from the Photos app.
How do you know when to use your front-facing camera or your back-facing? I know you did the, let's see, I think you did the front-facing to make your picture, but like if you wanted to take a picture of, say, trees or something, would that be a back-facing camera? Or, I don't know.
Yeah, I would more often use I would kind of think of the front-facing as a selfie camera, where if you want to take your own picture, then you would do that. Otherwise, I would probably use the back-facing more often. If you are using an iPad, you have to remember, and I mean, it is kind of obvious, but especially since we can't see, it's a good reminder, because sometimes I forget. You know, if you have a case that goes around the back of your iPad when your iPad is open, the case is blocking that camera unless you move it out of the way. So if you're going to use the back, you have to remember to move the case, you know, so the camera is exposed. Like it, you know, my keyboard case folds backwards, in other words, and it, you know, so it's covering the camera unless I move it, which is fine. It's by design. But yeah, I would say most often probably back facing, unless you're doing selfies and that sort of thing. And then, you know, you can use the portrait camera, which is the back facing. I was
say the back camera's usually got the better pixels anyway, so.
Right, it's going to be the higher pixels. It has that portrait feature, which actually is really good for taking pictures of other people and other scenery and so forth. So there's some benefits to both, but I would probably more often than not use the back one.
Can you clarify how to get the speech to read it to you?
Well, I sure can. So now when you are asking about the speech, I have to ask, just so I know how to answer your question. Which speech exactly are you
I'm sorry.
looking, like when it
The
said,
voiceover, the
when
voiceover
it's
speech to
like when
describe.
it said, when it described the picture?
Yeah.
Okay. So that is a feature called image description. It's part of the voiceover recognition suite of features. Now, which device are you using?
I'm using iPad 9.
Okay. So the iPad 9 does support image descriptions. So
Okay.
there is a under settings, you want to go to accessibility and go to voiceover.
Yeah.
And then the voiceover settings, there's an option called voiceover recognition.
Oh, yeah.
You go into there and there are 3 types of descriptions you can turn on. I recommend having them all on in settings. They are image recognition, screen recognition, and text recognition. Now, the screen recognition specifically, you'll have on in settings, but you won't actually turn it on for each app because it's not used unless you find an app that's like inaccessible. You don't want to use it normally in an app that is accessible. But I recommend leaving it on in settings. So there's those 3: image, text, and screen recognition. Now, if you go into settings and you find that they already are turned on, but images are not being described to you, that's a quirk in iOS and iPadOS 17, which seems to cause, and I don't really know because I'm not an expert in, I don't know behind the scenes what's happening. What it seems like it's doing is when you update your iOS, it is somehow like corrupting the image description data that's needed in order for VoiceOver to describe images. So if that happens, if you go into your settings and it's all turned on, but it just refuses to describe images for you, what you have to do to fix that is you have to go into settings, turn each of those 3 things off: image recognition, screen recognition, text recognition off, and under the feedback style, change it to do nothing. Okay. Leave it off for about 5 to 10 minutes while you're using your iPad or iPhone. Just use it normally, whatever you do, go into Safari, check your mail, whatever. Just use your device, but leave those settings off. After about 10 minutes, completely power down your iPad and turn it back on, and then re-enable those 4 settings, the 3 recognitions and the feedback style. Put it back to play sound or speak or whatever. And once you've done that, it will correct the problem. Thank you so much, and take care, everybody.
Thanks for joining today's session. Didn't get your question answered? Want paid one-on-one training? Email us at support@TTJTech.biz or support@stiritup.com. And remember, stir is spelled with a U. That's STURITUP.com. I'm Trainer Kliph. Thanks for joining us. God bless. See you next time.